Good morning. My name is Richard Parris. I'm the Chief Executive of Intercede Group plc. I'm delighted to be at the British Business Embassy this morning to celebrate London 2012 and to promote UK ICT innovation. Intercede is a great example of a UK software company that is leading the world in its sector, and we enjoy 88% of our revenues coming from exports. We produce software to enable companies and governments to issue trusted identities to employees and citizens. More than 5 million people in the world use digital credentials issued by Intercede's MyID software to prove who they are in both the real world and in cyberspace. Our customers include the UK and US governments, aerospace and defence companies, banks, healthcare providers, telecommunications operators, and numerous SaaS providers who host MyID in the cloud. The advent of the cloud, the drive for governments to deliver digital services by default, and heightened concerns about cybersecurity are driving the world to become a more identity-centric place. It is forecast by the time we get to the Rio Olympics, more than 2.5 billion people in the world will have an electronic or digital identity issued to them by their governments, and more than 1 billion people will own a smartphone with a subscriber ID. Providing the technology to enable these devices to be personalised with a trusted digital identity is Intercede's business. The Olympics provide a great platform to envisage how we might use digital credentials in the future. The Games bring together large numbers of people from countries all around the world. They require feats of coordination, security, and communication that are truly Olympian in scale. None of these activities would be possible without the means to prove the identities of the people involved. Today, this is achieved by a combination of plastic security passes for staff and paper tickets for spectators. In spite of best endeavours, this model is always going to be open to subversion, racketeering, and counterfeiting, and is in any case costly to implement and manage. So is there a better way? Imagine if your smartphone was your ticket and you could use a cloud service to buy, to validate, to trade and transfer tickets between legitimate owners. No longer would unofficial websites be able to trade counterfeit or sell fantasy tickets, and it would destroy the black markets that exist to subvert the distribution of genuine tickets. Imagine if visitors and staff could use their phones to fast-track through security checkpoints. And imagine if visitors could have real-time access to seating upgrades or to last-minute ticket availability for unoccupied seats based on where they were actually located and the proximity of the seats. The idea that somebody at the back of the stadium could be invited to fill one of the empty seats at the front, or you're walking past the stadium, the system knows you're in the Olympic Park, and it can say, you didn't succeed in getting tickets for cycling, but it's starting in 15 minutes, and if you get over there, you can use the ticket token you've just downloaded on the phone to get to fast track through security to get to the seat. And imagine if all that could be done without ever having to remember a username and password again. Imagine no longer. The technology is here today, and Intercede is playing a role in the realisation of actual solutions. So by way of illustration, I've got a Samsung Galaxy phone here, and it's got my digital identity on it that's been downloaded from a cloud service powered by Intercede's MyID software. Now, a phone with a picture on it in itself doesn't look very secure. But most of the smartphones out there at the moment, and we heard this morning, powered by ARM chips, have a trusted security zone or a trusted execution engine within them. That today is not really accessed by service providers. But Intercede and other companies are working to make those capabilities available and accessible to service providers. So visualize this phone as, in effect, being a virtual smart card. It just happens to have a battery in it and a secure keypad. So I can download a secure identity onto here, and I can then use that secure identity to go into cloud services such as buying tickets for the Olympics. But there's more to it than that. The same technology is also appearing on desktop and laptop machines. Most of your laptops will already have a trusted platform module in, a hardware security device, waiting for applications to put secure information into them, such as digital identities. So we already own the equipment that you need to have a secure hardware token to carry a trusted identity on. I'm going to show you something that looks very simple, but I think is actually very, very significant for how we'll all run our lives in the future. So we have a phone here running an Intercede My ID applet that I've downloaded from Google Play. And I've got my ID card here that's actually using the same standards as US federal government employee badges called the PIV standard. And if I hold the card to the phone is NFC enabled, near field communications, the same technology that you'll use to do touch and go payments for micropayments. And that's read information off the card and displaying it on the screen. So what you've just seen, and the reason I believe this is significant, is this is a publicly available standard phone. This is an identity credential that meets a public standard. I've downloaded an applet off the web that's publicly available today, and I can validate the identity of that. This means you can put secure identity verification in the hands of citizens and consumers to do peer-to-peer strong authentication between members of the public, between the public and a service provider. So when the gas man comes to read the meter at home, maybe he has his ID card, you have your smartphone, you could now do very strong authentication of the ID to the phone. And I believe that is going to be game-changing. The tipping point, I believe, for the widespread adoption of digital technologies will be before 2016. And Intercede is already working on the technology necessary to make that possible. And I look forward to celebrating our success with you when we meet on the road to Rio. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm proud that Intercede, as a great British company, is leading the way in building identity solutions that make the world a safer and more convenient place to live, work and enjoy. Thank you.